we are going to be discussing something that's pretty prevalent in our lives, and that's basically measuring success, job hunting, the state of the markets right now, and how we can cope with the expectations that we made in the past and reframe it into something that we can look forward to in the future.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? We were talking about degrees, right?
Yeah, so basically my whole dilemma is that, I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and still I feel like like companies expect so much, even if you're a fresh graduate. But at the same time, it's like you're also pretty qualified because you have two degrees,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to be
hmm
working like a minimum wage job when you have a master's, for example.
Of course not, right?
Uh,
Because you
so
put in all that time, all that energy, all that effort for your degree, and then you continue that for your master's, and then maybe a PhD, but you don't do a PhD, you just do a master's, and you want all that time and effort that you invested to be beneficial, right? You're not going to invest in something knowing that it's going to fail. You
mhm.
invest in it thinking this will bring me back like a better return. It'll help me in life, and it will improve, your current situation, whatever it may be. But as of right now, in our current, the job market, society, that's not necessarily the case anymore. Like you have so many people who are qualified with a degree, but still can't find a job. So how does that make any sense? Like
I don't know.
because that's what we were taught, right? We were taught to go to school, get a good degree, find a job. So we went to school, we got a degree, now we can't find a job. So what do we do?
Like the crazy thing as well, it's like I would always picture myself at a certain age to have these certain things in my life, whether it be
Yeah.
financial success, a
hmm
relationship, a stable career, whatever. I would have these mental images when I was a kid or a teenager of how I'm gonna feel when I'm 30, for
Yeah.
example, or
hmm
25. And I would tell myself, like, I'm gonna be successful by that time. I'll be super happy. I'll be in a good relationship. I will be content with life. But now it's like we're reaching that point, right? So
hmm
I imagine myself at 24 years old having certain things and, doing well in certain aspects of my life. And now it's like I can barely find a job. I'm still living
Yeah.
at home, right? And there's no shame in
hmm
that, but it's just like, I don't know. I think I've just been brainwashed by, I guess,
Society?
society,
Yeah.
my
hmm
parents, like a bit. I never really found out things for myself. I was always told to like expect certain things by this point. If you get good grades, you'd be you'd be well off in the future,
Right. Yeah.
right? I've always gotten good grades, bro.
hmm
But I don't think I was trained to realize like all of this education is there for you to build up a skill, a certain
Yeah.
type of skill in whatever field you chose that you can apply to a job for a company that wants to make profit.
That's that's very true, and we're still. I mean, here's the thing, right? If you think about it, let me just ask this, like, for example, do you think when, let's say we were younger, like 16, 17, we had like dreams to be like when we're 24, we'd have like whatever we want, right? Stable relationship, stable job, financial security and everything that like we thought we would achieve, we achieved. Do you think when we were like young that our dreams were how you say this overly ambitious? Were they too far? Were they like expectations were like so high?
Yeah,
Like back
yeah,
then, like think about it. I didn't think it was that unrealistic when I was
yeah.
16, right? Because you think like yeah, like you're done high school, you go to like university or college, whatever it may be, for 4 years, or you start like working. By the time like you graduate high school at 18, let's say you work for 4 years or you go to school for 4 years, you're 22. That basically means like you're basically done all of like what you need to do and you're set. But then when you're 22, 23, 24, like what we are currently, like we're not even there yet. Like some of us, we don't necessarily have like a job or something. Like I'll just be honest, like we don't have a job. Like that means we can't, we don't have like freedom to do the things that we wanted to do, right? Like
Yeah,
you don't have a job, you don't have a car, you have to take like, public transport or like whatever, right? So
yeah.
it's like, were they unrealistic when we were 16? No.
I don't
But
even
then,
think like I had this dream, like
hmm
honestly, like to go into healthcare and become like a physician or like a psychiatrist, for example. Like that's
right.
what I wanted to
hmm
do growing up. I truly didn't know what I wanted to do even at 18 though. That
Yeah.
that doctor thing, like to me at the time, it felt realistic because
hmm
I was a very hard worker
Yeah.
and I was getting good grades. But then like I ultimately realized growing up, this is not meant for me, like becoming a doctor. I think I was a bit overly ambitious,
hmm
but you can still see people out here becoming doctors and stuff. Like it's not like it's an impossible thing to do. That's why I thought it was realistic.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, right? Like, yeah, you always thought like when you're younger you wanted to achieve like the greatest thing possible, right? Because back when like I was young, like I had the same dreams as you. Like I think it was
Mhm.
grade six or something. Yeah, so grade six, I thought about becoming a dentist because I thought like, oh, dentists they make like so much money and you'll be set for life. And then as you progress in the grades, you go to high school or whatever, you have to pick what courses you need, and then you're looking at it as like, oh, dentist, you need like biology, you need chemistry, you need all these other sciences. And when you're learning about it, you're like, yeah, this isn't for me. I don't think I don't want to study like cells and plant life in order to become a dentist. And then like that's
Mhm.
when you learn like university, you have to go to specific programs, 4 years, 6 years, and then after you graduate, you have to do like more training, more schooling. It's like 10 years to be a dentist, and then we didn't know about like student loans and debt until we were actually like in school. Then we learned, oh wait, this is very expensive. I don't think this is gonna work out, even for like non like I guess what's the term, like specifics or something, like oh specialized, yeah,
Mhm.
like a doctor, you have to go to like med school, you have to do, like more school after that. Lawyers, dentists, like you need so much schooling, and that comes with so much like time, energy, and money, and then that becomes like debt. And sure, let's say you graduate, you get a job, you make like a lot of money, but all of that, like you have to pay back your student loans. So in the end, are you really like well off, or are you really like
Mm.
stable when you have like like a great degree and and a good job, but with all that debt, like is the payoff worth it?
Yeah.
Right? Because like sure, let's say you make like a lot of money as a dentist and you can pay off your student loans. But then as we age, we're gonna take on loans for other stuff, right? Like a car. We have car loans, a house, even though like housing like sucks. But like for real, like you take out a mortgage and that's even more debt. Like at my previous job, like I had a colleague of mine. He's like middle age. He has like wife, two kids, and they're still paying off their mortgage. Like I was just playing like poker with them a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about like how he had to renew his mortgage again. And I'm thinking, well, that's like when you're middle age and you still have a mortgage. So but that's just like the house. I know there's definitely more. Like there's definitely like the student loans that they're still paying off and like the car loans that they're still paying off. So is that really worth it? I don't know. It's
I
really
don't
really
know
hard
either, bro.
to determine whether or
And
not
and the thing and
it
the thing
works.
is we compare ourselves so much to other people that it makes it worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's always like comparison, especially, and like what sucks the most is for me is like I'll see like at my like previous job, right? I was the youngest person
Mhm.
there, and I
Yeah.
like all my colleagues. They're like much older. They're like well established. Like they're like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. They they have a family. They have kids. They have you know like actual like adult shit stuff, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
houses, cars, and like other stuff that they're like focused on, like and credit card like that or whatever it may be. And here I am as like a 22-year-old thinking, I'm thinking that they're better than me, but then also
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense because they're much older. They've done everything that like I've like done. They've been through more than I've been through more. So why am I comparing myself to them? Thinking like, oh, this is like what I need to be or what the level that I need to achieve when I'm not even able to like, you know, leave my house or something, right?
Bro, I don't even know what to say. I'm actually kind of laughing about it now
Yeah.
because I'm just like, this is kind of hilarious to me. I think it's my own downfall to me. It's my own mistake that I didn't realize it though, bro. Like I didn't realize like shit would turn out like this. I don't think anybody probably would have realized it
Yeah,
or
like
predicted it
mhm.
too much, at least. So I don't know. I'm just looking everywhere, and everybody is struggling with jobs. Everybody.
The funny thing is like it- here's like the paradox about it, right? Like
Yeah.
you'll see like a lot of people struggling to find jobs, but then there's also the people that are finding jobs. So how does that make
That's what I don't.
any
I know.
sense,
I don't know,
right?
bro.
Like
People.
I also don't understand that like alongside with you. Like I completely
Yeah.
understand. Like let's say like A, like person A, he can't find a job, but person B, he found a job within like a couple days.
Yeah.
Is it because their skill sets are different? Like let's just assume everything is the same.
Yeah.
So why come person A can't find a job but person B can find a job?
It's
And
probably an
that's what
external thing.
yeah, external things, and that's why I said like earlier that we didn't like get to mention here, but I'll mention it again here, where it's like you can have like all the skills in life, you can have like as much background, as much foundation as possible, but also let's be honest, in life, luck plays a bigger role than we want to like think. Like we assume luck isn't that how do you say it? That dominant, that prevalent,
Yeah.
something like that. Like we don't think it's that important, but in reality, it really is. Like all the billionaires, right? Sure, they spent a lot of time, you know, working, putting in all the hours, getting to where they are now. But if you think about it, they're pretty lucky,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
what's the guy who invested like in the thing? Like what's his name? Warren Buffett or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like his investment, right? Like if his investment was unlucky or like it didn't work out the way it did, he wouldn't be one of the richest people in the world. So luck plays
Yeah.
a major role. Like back to like poker, for example, you could be the smartest person in terms of numbers and math. You can count. You can determine the probability of hitting like your straight, your flushes, royal flushes, or whatever it may be. But if every hand your opponent has like pocket aces, you're never gonna win, right?
Yeah.
Like pocket aces will like in the very start, pocket aces is the strongest hand before the flop. So that's just luck. You could be as smart as possible, but you'll still lose every single time because you're just unlucky. And that's why I think like here's the thing with luck, like I like it and also I don't because it makes you think like why are some people luckier than others? Right? Like why am I so unlucky? But then sometimes why am I more lucky than like other people? Right?
Yeah. It's just luck could be in the form of like, let's say your application was the first one in the pile, for example. So they'll probably take notice of that more. Or if yours was on the last one in the pile,
Mm-hmm.
they'll remember you more, right?
Yeah.
Luck has to do with like flaws of human nature
Mm-hmm.
sometimes as well, right?
Yeah.
like it could be like the algorithm pushing for your profile more than somebody else's or your resume, for example. Who knows?
Yeah, it's even like you know, you have videos on like TikTok or like YouTube, for example, like for
Yeah.
people like just starting out, right? You kind of have to be pretty lucky in order
You
to
do,
make it,
bro. You
right?
do.
Like PewDiePie, right? Like sure, he's like most he used to be most subscribed like YouTuber.
Yeah.
He was pretty lucky. Like let's be honest, like him recording like Amnesia gameplays and a bunch of other stuff, like that was pretty lucky in order for him to reach where he is now, where he's like retired. He he has a loving wife and now he has like his son, right? That's all luck, and like a bunch of other YouTubers, like they it's luck,
Yeah.
right?
Yo, speaking of YouTubers,
Mm-hmm.
like I was really thinking about the Sidemen. I
The
grew up
Sidemen,
on
yeah,
them. Yeah. I
yeah,
grew up on I was watching KSI when I was like 13,
right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I found like the rest of his group. And then these guys were probably like 18,
Yeah,
18 to like 20 in like 2013, 2014,
yeah,
something
okay.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like compare my age to where they are they were at 20 and
Yeah.
seeing what I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
versus them at their age. I would do that stuff. I don't know if I'm the only one that does that.
Probably
I,
not. I feel like I used to do that as well. Like when I
yeah.
was yeah, like yeah, like
Like
2013,
yeah.
2014. Like you come home from school, like for example, is like today's a PA day. You'd spend time like watching YouTube, and then you watch like all these like guys. They're having like so much fun, like you know, playing video games, recording vlogs or whatever, like opening Pokemon cards or something like that. You're thinking, wow, these guys, they're living the dream. They're doing like what I want to do. But then and then you're comparing yourself thinking like, well, why can't I be like that? Right? And then again, it comes down to like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe they're just lucky. Right? Like when you're pulling Pokemon cards, right? You want like the Charizard, you want the full arts, you want like the alternate art, right? In order to like pull the card, you have to be lucky. Like
Hmm.
even if you buy like what 5 booster boxes, there's a chance where you don't pull a single like
Yeah.
character rare or something, right? Or another case, some other like person, he'll buy like 5 packs and every single one he'll pull the Charizard or whatever
Dude,
card
when you
he's looking
started talking about packs, I was thinking of weed for some reason.
for.
Anyways, could anyways, George, shut the fuck up. You're giving too many examples. Anyways, the other thing I was gonna say was, yeah, continuing with the like the YouTuber stuff, like
Yeah.
I would look at like one of the sidemen for example, like for example, let's say we look at KSI
Okay.
and what he was doing at 24, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he would be doing a lot of crazy shit. Like he was already fucking rich at 24, right? And
Yes.
then he was
Yeah.
starting boxing and all these things, all these events and whatever. And then I'm comparing myself, and I feel like an infant. But see, like I don't know. I feel like there's so many different factors at play. Like this guy found out about YouTube when he was like 16, and then he just grinded to it. That's it.
In
And the
those cases,
algorithm
yeah.
would have pushed him.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Right. So in that case, would you consider that to be like working hard, or would you consider that to be luck?
I think it's both.
Right. Yeah. It has to be a combination of both.
Yeah.
Right. Like sure, you could be like the hardest working person, but then you know, let's say you make like 100K a year, you work for you know X amount of years, eventually you make like $1 million or something like that, right? No, so yeah, 100K, you work for like 10 years there. Let's say you save every single dollar or whatever, and then you after a couple of years you make or X amount of years you make $1 million, or you have like Joe Schmo who has like $2, he bought a scratch off ticket and he won 1.2 million, right?
Yeah.
So what is that like? You know, like hard work, is it luck or is it just like both? I know it's both, but some part of me is thinking maybe luck
Bro, that's the same.
plays
That's
more.
the same question. There's like this specific question in psychology.
Okay.
called nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
It's the exact same question,
Okay.
kind of. So nature has to do with genes. Like,
Yes.
is your personality and who you are shaped by genes or the environment? And we know that it's a balance of both
Right.
now.
Okay.
We now
Hmm.
know that. So I think the main one of the main lessons in life is fucking middle ground balance.
Yeah.
So with this job search stuff, right now I'm gonna try to like teach myself to be more kind and understand like this is a learning curve. The whole job process is about learning, right?
Right.
You're not gonna be perfect at it first time. It'll probably take you hundreds of tries.
Yeah.
But
And that comes with the experience, right? As you said, like,
yeah,
you do in a week, you do 5 interviews, and let's say none of them result to a job. Well, at least you have 5 interviews, you know, like somewhat the format of what the interviews are, like what kind of questions they'll ask and like what responses to give in order for you to have a better shot at being the chosen candidate for a job.
yeah, yeah. Okay. I think that's pretty much all I had to say, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like we covered some good topics today. I'm content with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Well,
Bye.
thanks thanks y'all for listening. This is fun. We'll go again real soon. All right.
Bye.
Okay. Take it easy.